To some of the black women out there who are hot and bothered about the Roe v. Wade overturn, let me just show you just how silly you gotta be to support such treachery. So this is the original letter written by Margaret Sanger in December 10th, 1939. Okay, so Dr. C.J. Gamble, all right, 255 Adams Street, Milton, Mass. Okay, that's the street address that was sent to. So, this letter says, Dear Dr. Gamble, it is good to know that you're recovering. I also am stepping up and have felt much better this past week. Okay? Miss Delp was here for Thanksgiving, and I am more than delighted to learn that she was able to get $250 from the California Birth Control Organization plus the $600 from the Federation. That's good. She was a go-getter and a life wire. Very tactful and charming as well. I think that my pick of her has been justified, even though she is a little higher priced than the ordinary. She has been working on the article to be written by Miriam DeFord. Okay, whoever that name is, Shipley, Miss Shipley. So anyway, they were good enough to send me a rough draft for comments and suggestions, and that important suggestions that I made was not to include Miss Delp's actual name in the article because of the fact that her sister is married to one of the high spots in the farm security department, and if the enemy started to work on her name, they might make it difficult along the line. Otherwise, I think the article is good. As to my sending suggestion to the Federation, I think it is really unfair for me to do so. I am too far away to have the personal contact of the different reactions, and it only holds up any definite project to have the pros and cons battered about, which makes for more chaos and confusion. So continues. There is only one thing that I would like to be in touch with, and that is the Negro Project of the South, which, if the execution of the details remains in Miss Rose's hands, my suggestion will not be confused because she knows the way my mind works. Miss Rose sent me a copy of your letter of the December 5th, and I note that you doubt it worthwhile to employ a full-time Negro physician. It seemed to me, from my experience where I have been in North Carolina, Georgia, Tennessee, and Texas, that while the colored Negroes have great respect for white doctors, they can get closer to their own members and more and less lay their cards on the table, which means their ignorance, superstitions, and doubts. They do not do this with the white people. And if we can train the Negro doctor at the clinic, he can go among them with enthusiasm and with the knowledge, which I believe will have far-reaching results among the colored people. His work, in my opinion, should be entirely within the Negro profession and the nurse, hospital, social workers, as well as the county's white doctors. His success will depend upon his personality and his training by us. The minister's work is also important, and also he should be trained, perhaps by the Federation, as to our ideals and the goals that we hope to reach. We do not want word to go out that we want to exterminate the Negro population, and the minister is the man who can strengthen out that idea if it ever occurs to any of their more rebellious members. I agree with you that Miss Rose has done a remarkable job in thinking through and planning the project, but she has worked on it for some time. As soon as I knew there was a possibility of getting any money, I put her at work drafting the plan for Mr. Lackner. She is excellent at just such a job. She hangs on to details, weaves and correlates them into the design. I shall never cease to have the utmost admiration and regard for her ability, and so far I have not seen anyone in the Federation who could take her place. I am constantly delighted at the thought that you are getting better, and now we must pray for Mrs. Time, who is seriously ill at the doctor's hospital in New York. My regards to your Sarah and to myself. Sincerely yours, Margaret Singer. So now that you've seen all that, you heard all that, black women, if you support Roe v. Wade, aka abortion rights, especially advocating it to other black women, then you might as well get rid of all of your Black Lives Matter materials. Take Black Lives Matter off your social media accounts and get rid of all of your Black Lives Matter flags, your t-shirts, wristbands, bumper stickers, and everything else. Just get rid of it. Because I just showed you the goal of Margaret Singer, who was the founder of Planned Parenthood, aka abortions, that she set up shop in the black neighborhoods. You see, you want to complain about Donald Trump and the Republicans being racist? Well, look at what you're doing right now. By advocating abortion, especially to other black women, you're basically carrying on the duties of a racist white woman whose main goal was to exterminate the Negro population. You see, if you're going to call out racism, you got to call out all of it. And the white women out there that you're trying to fight for don't even give a damn about y'all. Because where were they when they had a Buffalo shooting out there in New York? 10 people who were black were killed, gunned down by a white supremacist street thug by the name of Peyton Gendron, 6 of which were black women, and 4 were males, black men. Did you see them same liberal feminists out there protesting Black Lives Matter? Where were they at? Where were they at? You see, these liberals want to make you think that they're on your side. But in reality, they could care less about black people. It has been proven time and time again Joe Biden still ain't cut a check for black folks in this country. But because the Supreme Court Justice overturned the Roe v. Wade decision, now all of a sudden, white folks care about black women? Give me a freaking break. Instead of worrying about abortion rights, we should be worrying about the economy and the shape that it's in right now. We got inflation still going up in this country, and what are the Democrats doing about it? Nothing but just finger pointing at the Republicans and what they're doing. But yet they're not even putting policies in place that's going to help the average citizen in this country. Instead, the first thing they want to do, Joe Biden, is to send money to freaking Ukraine. And that's another thing. When Ukraine got invaded by Russia, all them white folks out there immediately took it to the streets with their signs, "Stand with Ukraine." We got to stand with Ukraine. And when those white folks take it to the streets, they always trying to use black people as the voice to stand up for them. And what has that done for black folks? Nothing. We still ain't got no reparations. We still don't have a George Floyd Policing Bill Act. We still don't got no tangibles. And them same liberal white people who these women are trying to fight for, they're not advocating anything that has to do with black issues. Instead, they just want you to come fight for them no matter what, while you're left with nothing. When the rubber meets the road for black folks, when they're suffering, them same white feminists out there who are pushing abortion rights to make it seem like that they care about black women and black people, no matter what, they're going to side with the white man against the black person. So, black women, don't even bother trying to be the voice for these people, because you are silly to even think that these white folks give a care about your causes. But in reality, they're not, because otherwise the Biden administration wouldn't be so anti-black. They wouldn't have had that Asian hate crime bill while using black people as the face of anti-Asian hate. Remember that? So there ain't no way, shape, or form that I will ever support Roe v. Wade. Because why? It's not my business. Remember, men don't have a say-so of what women do with their bodies. Remember that? So, your body, your choice. Go ahead. Do what you want. But when the system starts working against you, and you want to take it to that level of extreme, then that's your business, not mine. And it sure as hell is not black people's issues either. Because every time we're trying to fight for something like reparations, ending qualified immunity, intangibles for the black community, none of you feminists/liberals are anywhere to be found. Instead, you always gotta tell us to get out there and vote for your causes, for your democracy, while we're living under oppression. So here's I say again, white women, you're on your own with this one, because I'm more worried about the economy in this country, in the shape that it's in right now. So something has got to give here, y'all. Either you want to keep your abortion rights and while run the risk of the economy going down the drain as it continues to do with the current administration in charge right now and these Democrats in the governor's seats. Do you care about the economy, or do you care about the abortion rights? in the midst of this high inflation, food prices, gas, cost of living, baby formula shortages. You either keep your abortion rights or get the economy back up to where it needs to be. And furthermore, cut the black community the damn check. And that's my take on it. And that'll conclude this video. Please leave your comments, like, share, subscribe, and feel free to hit me up on Cash App and PayPal, though these are not required and these are not refundable donations, okay? Just want to point that out there. So if you support the message of what I am giving out to you, feel free to send however many donations you want. And as always, people, peace and love. Take care.